My partner Scott did a church service mission in Finland for 2 years before we met, and I have fallen in love with this amazing country from his stories and actually visiting several years ago. So this week, I wanted to honor the way that Finns celebrate Valentine's Day. In Finland, Valentine's Day isn't just a day dedicated to romance exclusively, but celebrates wider friendships. In fact, the Finnish term for Valentine's Day, juustuvanpäivä, translates into Friends Day. So, here are some fun podcasts all about friendship to celebrate Finland's version of Valentine's Day. I'm Andy Smiley, the Friendly Podcast Guide. I'm a mom who uses podcasts to fight the boredom and loneliness of motherhood and to entertain my kids when I need a break. And I want you to be able to use podcasts in these ways too. But it can be overwhelming to try and find a podcast you or your kids will enjoy in the thousands of shows that are out there. That's where I come in. Each week, I talk about different podcasts with topics ranging from parenting to pop culture and everything in between. My episodes are short and they answer your questions about the show, so you'll know if it's a good fit for you or your kids or not. Now, let's talk podcasts. The first friendship podcast for today is called Best Friend Energy. Have you heard of the Home Edit? It's a home organization company run by best friends Clea and Joanna, who are the hosts of this podcast, Best Friend Energy. They have a Netflix show. That's where I found them. And if you've ever watched it, you have a pretty good idea of what this podcast is like. Sometimes they have guests who join them on the episode, and sometimes it's just Joanna and Clea chatting about what's going on in their lives and in the world. If you're looking for a place to start, I recommend listening to the episode where Clea and Joanna talk to Bobby Burke, who is a designer and one of the stars of Queer Eye. They have a fabulous conversation centered on designing and organizing your home with random tangents about some of Bobby's past jobs, the Netflix show The Floor is Lava, and Oreos. We'll make sure to link this episode and all of the other episodes I talk about today in the show notes. Another friendship podcast is called Friendshipping. First of all, I have to say the intro for this podcast is a fabulous song that makes me happy every time I hear it. Jen and Trin are the hosts, and their friendship is one you can easily hear in their conversations on each episode. Along with conversations about whatever fits their fancy, they also answer a friendship question from a listener with thoughtful advice and insights. A great episode to listen to if you're looking for a place to start is called Be Expensive. They tackle a question from a listener who asked about friends who are repeatedly asking for a discount for their services. This show doesn't have new episodes, but they do have an email newsletter. So if you want more of them, subscribe to that newsletter. Before we talk about more friendship podcasts, we're going to take a quick break to talk about my Friendly Podcast Guide birthday giveaway. I wanted to say thank you for listening to the podcast as we celebrate the second birthday of FPG this month. It has been so much fun connecting with so many of you and introducing you all to cool podcasts and the people who make them. I asked on my Instagram stories what y'all wanted for the giveaway, and the people have spoken. As a thank you for another great year, I'm giving one of my listeners a package full of my favorite things. To get your name in the drawing for the giveaway, all you have to do is fill out a quick demographic survey, and I'll choose one of you to win the favorite things package at the end of the month. Thank you so much for filling out this survey. It'll help me make sure to find podcasts that you'll enjoy and find sponsors that align with your wants, needs, and desires. Thank you so much for another great year, and I can't wait to give away my favorite things package. The next friendship podcast on today's list is Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend. The premise behind this podcast is that despite doing thousands of interviews while being a late-night talk show host, Conan has never made a real and lasting friendship with any of his celebrity guests. So he started a podcast to do just that. But the hidden gem of this podcast is the fun friendship Conan has with his co-host Sona, who is also his assistant, and Matt, who also produces the show. This show definitely has strong language, so keep that in mind. The best way to jump into this podcast, in my opinion, is to find a celebrity that you think is cool in the episode archive of the show and listen to it. But if that feels like a lot of work, you can listen to one of the recent episodes titled Natasha Lyonne, where Conan has a hilarious chat with his co-hosts about their kids' sleep habits, and a fun conversation with Natasha Leone. The last podcast about friendship for today is called Friendshipable. Hosts Terry and Manya define friendshipable as having the power, skill, means, or opportunity to have the emotions or conduct of friends, or to create the state of being friends. I mean, it's definitely a made-up word, but I don't mind. They talk to experts about all aspects of friendship, from how friendship helps us be our best selves to friendship after divorce, and so many other subjects. A recent episode that was super interesting was episode 106, Having Hard Conversations with Friends, with Midori Dumani. They talk about how vulnerability plays a big role in deep friendships and how to decide on what friendships are worth having those hard conversations. I don't know about y'all, but this episode has made me want to call all of my friends and check in with them. I'll do that after I wrap this up. Also, if you want a shot at winning a package full of my favorite things, fill out the demographic survey in the show notes. Talk to you soon. Juustuvanpäivä.